Today we're going to be talking about why APLD is not pumping my bags. So Applied Digital, we just made a video about APLD a few weeks ago. And if you're not familiar with Applied Digital, it's basically an AI data center play. What Applied Digital does is they build data centers and they rent them out to clients such as CoreWeave and other clients that require a lot of GPU load, basically, a lot of processing power. Just real quick, they have two parts of their business. They build AI data centers for clients, and they also lease the GPU processing power to clients. And so they just secured that $7 billion project with CoreWeave over the next 15 years, which is a huge revenue boost. So why is the stock falling then? Okay, this is what you guys have to understand about APLD and about a lot of stocks that are similar to APLD with such a small market cap. Okay, so these smaller stocks run on momentum and they run on news. We've seen APLD go from April lows at $3.30, and it was, gaining some momentum slowly, kind of just with the whole market, to the $7.50, $8 range here. And then we got the CoreWeave announcement, and that pumped the stock quite a bit to 15. So a lot of chasers probably got in and they thought this thing was going to go to the moon. Getting that CoreWeave deal solidified that they're not a scam company, but they're actually doing work. The only thing is that this stock moves heavily on news, okay? You got to understand that if you're in the stock, you got to be prepared to wait until there's news, okay? Good news will move this thing, and you have to just be patient, basically. Since this company only has a $2 billion market cap, this thing will move on news. And so what we would really need to get out of this $10 range right here, we would need a new deal or really good earnings, okay? Those are the two things that we're kind of waiting on. In the meantime, this thing will consolidate and it might even drop back to the $7 range. But this is such a speculative play that you have to be in it. Unless you're trading it, this is a 5 to 10 year investment horizon, in my opinion. The AI infrastructure is being built and it's so new that companies like APLD, they're kind of just getting started. And we could see a lot more demand in the next 2 years, in the next 5 years. We don't know how fast the AI growth is going to happen. We don't know if something will kind of stop it or accelerate it. And so we kind of have to be long in this name in order to reap the benefits. Otherwise, you're going to be staring at your screen, resentful that it's falling back down to $7, The good thing is we've seen a really good consolidation level here, and it's actually held support pretty well. Just now it's kind of starting to break support, and I think that's partially because of just the overall market conditions. The past few days have been, a bit slow, a bit red, and so it's kind of starting to fall down. If it breaks this level, it might fall back down to the $7, $8 range, which is okay because that's when you start to buy. APLD is a very speculative and small AI data center play. And if you wanted something a bit more secure, a bit more safe, then I definitely recommend looking at Oracle. So Oracle is doing something similar to APLD or Applied Digital, but on a 10 times larger scale, basically. They're working with the government, OpenAI, Meta, all of these Mag 7 names. They're basically, I would not be surprised if they became one of the Mag 7 names in the next 5 to 10 years. Granted, their stock price is pretty hefty, so is their market cap. I think it has a ton of room to grow. And so if you wanted something safer with more infrastructure built, way bigger deals, way more money coming in, I definitely recommend looking at Oracle. And I'm actually bullish on Oracle. I don't own it. I did own it. I sold it, kind of regretting that. I want to get back into Oracle because they could grab a large market share of the AI data center play. Applied Digital is more of my speculative, high growth, high risk, high reward type of play. But I do think, like I said, this is at such an early level or an early stage that we kind of have to wait it out and see. And I'm talking, 5 years from now, this thing will either be at 0 or it'll be at, 50. Don't quote me on that. But seriously, they landed a very large deal with CoreWeave. They could land 5 to 10 more deals like that and start generating billions of dollars every year. It's just hard to tell right now because, like I said, we're in the beginning of it. So what can you expect? Based on the chart here, I'm thinking we either consolidate in this level or we fall back to 7 and then we consolidate there. I don't really see us going back to $3 unless it's really bad market conditions. And so if you're trading this, just get ready for good news. If there's good news that comes out or really good earnings, then you'll see this thing kind of skyrocket like this. One last thing I wanted to show you guys was, even though Applied Digital is falling in terms of the stock price, that doesn't mean the thesis has necessarily changed, right? It just means that people are taking their profits or selling off before they lose too much money, because a lot of people were chasing at $10, at $15, and now it's back to 9, right? But as you can see, in terms of revenue, they continue to increase the amount of revenue each year. And with the additional CoreWeave deal, this thing will be quite a bit more. And so we see a trend of, increasing revenue. And the only thing, we're also seeing an increase of, or a decrease of net income. Reason being is because they're constantly building these data centers to try to get ahead and, be kind of the first data center play. And so we will see, that they'll be spending a good amount of money, but as long as their revenue can keep up with their debt and their net income falling, then I think we're still on track. And it's the idea that we can outgrow and eventually, become profitable. So if you guys wanted another AI data center play, you guys could check out Nebius. I've heard a ton about that. Nebius owns kind of more than just the data center play. They own a lot of other companies under the Nebius name, but an AI data center is kind of part of it. We also have TSSI that does work with Dell. So TSSI is doing something similar to APLD, and so you could definitely check out that as well as if you wanted something other than APLD. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I just wanted to give everyone a heads up that this is why the stock is falling. People are just taking profits and selling off as usual. And when we get good news, the momentum will ride. And the idea is that the momentum will keep flowing from the CoreWeave deal, and hopefully they'll be able to get more and more deals of bigger sizes and outgrow their debt and their building costs. So what I'm doing is I'm accumulating shares at these lower prices, $9. If it falls to $7, I'll keep accumulating. If for some reason a thesis breaking news headline comes out about APLD or their revenue, their earnings are just terrible and it's consistent, then I'll let you guys know what I think about that. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to learn more about Applied Digital, I did a full kind of video talking about what Applied Digital does and why I'm bullish on the name that I'll link here. Thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe for more.